On this segment of heritage, we're going to focus on the Afo people. The Afo people are believed to have had a common origin with people like the Jukun, the Alago, and our focus today will be on their culture, manifest in their dressing, their mode of living generally, and also the language. And we have the singular honor of having to discuss with us all these aspects of the Afo community. Alhaji Abubakar Akirga Kana, the Chairman, Documentation Committee of Eloyi Afo People. You're welcome to the program.
Thank you so much.
Well, as I said in the introduction, the Afo people are believed to have had a common origin with other tribes like the Jukun, the Alago, and that is Kwararafa origin. Now, what would you say are the similarities between yourselves, the Afo, talking in terms of culture and your mode of living generally?
Thank you very much. To begin with, you can see even from my own way of dressing, I'm sure many people, when they view this program, they will realize that they will be able to see a similarity between the way I'm dressed and the way a Jukuma will dress, the way an Idomama will dress, and so on and so forth. That is the first thing to notice. Other aspects like our way of living, most of us are farmers, as you can see, is manifested today. And we have a similar way of working with the common means of marriages and so on and so forth. There are areas that you can still between.
And running Afo, how did you come about all these names?
Well, thank you very much. Really, the correct name for our people is Eloyi. And that word originated from Eloyi, who was said to be a brother of Galadima of Ngazaragamu in the old Kanem Empire. The Eloyi people, the Afo people, as being commonly referred to, have this common ancestry with the Kanuris. And of course, even today, you will still see the tribal marks on the cheeks of some of our elders, still exactly the same way as Kanuri. So that is where we got that name Eloyi, from Eloyi, as I said. And it's a common thing with most people. A tribe can be referred to, in so many ways. Like we have even our own brother Kanuris themselves are referred to as Kambari, and other places are referred to as Beriberi, and so on and so forth. So the houses commonly refer to Eloyi tribe as Afo tribe. And of course, Ajiri happened to be a village inside Eloyi land. It's a village. And that village is popular because it was the village in which the founder of Nasrawa, Makamadogo, was killed and during the Jihad wars. And that war brought a lot of peace to our own land, our Eloyi land. And therefore, that name, Ajiri, took its own origin from that village. It's a village, actually. And that is the much I have to say about it.
Well, that leaves out just one other name, the Afo, which most people are familiar with, I guess.
That's right. Now, the Afo, a lot of people believe that the Afo is a name given to Eloyi tribe by Wahausas. Actually, it is not. The name Afo was derived from Aho. During our common ancestry in Borno, there was, according to history, there was a dispute, chieftain's dispute between the royal family. And there was a war between the royal family itself, between the Madaki, Galadima, Waziri, and the Dunama of Borno, and the Galadima of Ngazregamu, whose turn it was to be on the throne. As a result of it, there was a war between themselves, the royal family themselves, until Shetima, Shetima is a title in Borno land actually, came to tell them to leave this group alone. That is to leave the people who are fighting alone, and that is why he used the word Aho Nasadia. That means leave them alone to rest, and that is how we come across that word Afo. And it's been the most popular name. In fact, almost everybody know our tribe more by Afo than any other one. But the correct word is Eloyi.
Well, having lived among so many tribes with whom you share a common origin, do you sometimes entertain any fears of maybe losing your own particular culture because of the infiltration of all these cultures different from yours?
No, not at all. I must say this emphatically, that people have been akin to their own cultures, and we are proud, to have such cultures, and we still practice them up to today.
I was thinking maybe because you're so close, there might be the danger of your people imbibing some of their cultures.
Really, that is yet to come, and I think we should do everything to protect it, to make sure that it doesn't happen. I mean, we interact with other tribes, like we have common intermarriages and so on and so forth. But we try to make sure that our own as well cultures are maintained. And I'm sure if you take a look at our own land, you'll be able to, you'll convince yourself that the culture is very much there, and we're proud of that.
Historians base their historical findings on any of these three major sources: archaeology, oral traditions, and written accounts. The history of these people, therefore, to some extent, enjoys both the oral tradition and written records. But the most reliable source is the oral tradition, which has had high value in the Afro community. These people, who were one of those of Kwararafa origin, migrated from Yemen in the Arabian Peninsula to Nigeria. On their arrival, they lived in many places with the Kanuris before Ngazargamu was founded by May of Borno, Ali Gaji Dunamani. History also reveals that the Afro clan left Ngazargamu as a result of a chieftaincy dispute which broke out within the Galadima family, which they belonged to. Unfortunately, the title was taken away by one of them. This made the Afro to move out of Borno in about 1480 so as to be independent of the Galadima, who could maltreat them, and came to Apa in Kwararafa Empire, where they discovered that they had more clan brothers there. Having realized the agonies of those days, they did not want to go through any further hardship again. Consequently, when they arrived at Apa and found that a lot of disputes were going on there too, they decided to continue their journey to where they could obtain their complete independence. It was on this basis that they moved and formed their first camp at Kana, from whence they started establishing such towns as Onda, Agbada, Agegu, etc. After some years, Afro-suitors experienced another mass movement to form what are today Odege, Aku, Odeni, Agbada, Ebe, Ajiri, to mention just but a few. Considering the enormity of the similarity of the cultural values and image and the historical background of the members that make up the Kwararafa, that is, Alago, Jukun, Agatu, Igala, Idoma, Kamai, Egbura, and Afro people, it is very clear that these tribes are of the same ancestry, that is, the Apa family. advent of Western education notwithstanding, the Afro community have had their traditional occupations for self-sufficiency in all human endeavors. Since time immemorial, farming has been the most important occupation of the Afro people. The Afro land is noted for her richness in agricultural output. It is for this reason that such crops as yams, guinea corn, maize, beans, cotton, attire, groundnuts, Benny seed, rice, plantain, etc. are grown extensively to meet their demand for self-reliance. They hardly depend on others for their livelihood. In farming activities, they undergo some communal farming, the aim of which is to assist the less privileged and ill men. This assistance is first of all given to the chiefs and their subordinates. The same is given during the harvest period. The abundance of cotton in Afro land saw the need for a textile industry to be located there. But as they are people who uphold culture and tradition, they believed in manufacturing their own woven materials. Weaving, therefore, became one of their occupations. All sorts of clothes are made within their society. While women do only the spinning, men participate in weaving, which is done in different clothes. But then, what is the significance and the importance of the traditional attire designed by the Afro people? Al-Hajj Abubakar Akirga explains.
The dress we are watching is a typical dress worn by Afro people. The cap is called Kipungi Osaki. That means it's a cap made of Osaki, which is one of the typical hand-woven clothes that are a typical occupation of the Afro people. After the cap, the big gown known as Origawa Osaki is a typical outwear of the elderly class of people among the Afro community. It is made also from hand-woven cloth, which is a typical occupation of the Afro people. And this dress is produced from the beginning to the finish in this land. The next dressing is a typical dress worn by the middle class and the younger generations. From the cap, which is known as Kipungalu, is a typical dress made by hand-woven cloth, design and finished product of the Afro people. Then they come on to the little cloth, which is normally wrapped in between the shoulders, as it is being demonstrated. Then down to the Obamute. The Hausa people call it Bante because they don't know how to pronounce Obamute. The correct word is Obamute. This is also design and finished product of the Afro people. Now it is to be remembered or to be known that all the clothes that are worn by Afro people are manufactured and produced in the Afro land. Okay, we grow cotton. From cotton, we spin the cotton, producing the thread, and then we weave. Through weaving, we produce the pieces of clothes which are sewn together to produce the typical dresses you see.
Blacksmithing and carving is yet another occupation of the Afro people. They make hoes, knives, cutlasses, spears, guns, and arrows by heating charcoal with the help of an instrument known as haza, that is zuga in Hausa. They also carve axes, or kaishi, spoons, etc. Afro traditional attires are very colorful. These colorful patterns are designed by way of using local dye. This is done by the collection of different kinds of leaves, such as oba and ubua. A deep hole is built and the leaves pounded and diluted into water in the hole. The leaves are mixed up with the help of a long stick. As soon as the mixing is completed, cloth is sunk into the dye pit for some hours before they are brought out. Traditionally, Afro people consider marriage as one of the first things in life. In Afro land, most marriage ties are determined years in advance by the families of the future partners. In this case, it is usually performed when two partners find confidence in one another. The girl attains the age of marriage when she is about 14 to 15 years, while that of the boy is 17 years. While some communities have one or two different ways of traditional marriages, in Afro land, there are three types of marriages. These are Nzeshi, that is exchange marriage; Iluluma, normal marriage; Izizima, abnormal marriage. Up till today, Afro people acquire their wives through Nzeshi, which is exchange. The Iluluma, another normal way of marriage, is when you as a person asking for a girl's hand in marriage have to seek the attention of the girl for at least 3 times before she agrees to accept any gift from you. She will in turn show this gift to her mother for onward information to the father before the final decision is taken, which normally is yes or no. As soon as the girl has accepted the gift, the man has to inform his parents too. He will then cut about 7 logs of wood, each about 6 feet long. He sends 4 to the father and 3 to the mother of the girl. He will also farm for his in-laws. After all these obligations are met, the parents of the husband will meet with the girl's parents to finalize the marriage at maturity. After all the agreements have been reached between the 2 parents, the girl is pushed. If the girl is sent on an errand by her parents, she is caught by force to her husband's house. The Nzeshi marriage takes place between non-related families. The exchange woman should either be as Umene, that is sister, Umada, that is or Ume, that is a daughter, that should be taken to a man who in turn sends his as exchange. Where a girl refuses a husband, she is normally taken by force to any man of the parent's choice. The man will in turn bring his sister or anybody he feels appropriate to her parents' house. Izizima, an abnormal way of marriage, occurs when a girl decides to change or divorce her husband without the knowledge of her parents. In this manner, she makes a secret arrangement with another man of her choice. The man then disappears with her to his house.
mo ko le kar mi nyete o do bo kala mo baba uwe ngbomo do to mo kala nu kala lo ko to mo ko we wonya mo aka ko to mo mo ka de ku ka mi mo ba ku ka na ni aku ore ni e bo da ka gba mi so ngogere do ko e ndo le ndo tendi bo ni de mai tena e bu so bu nya ni e pata ta ku e ku bo do di di o ko bo lo ka mi na yo mo o ka mi lo ko mo mi na ore mo ba so bu nya ni ko ku ba mo mi janga mo ko da ko ti na na da ba ma de ni ba yo mo ni ba yo mo ya ka da ni ka na de da o ka ngau ngo ko ngo to janji mele ni na mi janji ngono ni ba de ko
A naming ceremony in Afro society is a very significant occasion. When a child is delivered, the head of the family or the husband consults Oboshi, that is medicine man, who by means of Ipepule, the divination, gives the name on the 7th day after delivery. The Oboshi takes the child to the Eshi for name giving. The name is normally derived from the baby's ancestor, so that the good qualities of the deceased may be transferred to the newborn. Another method adopted is by giving nicknames, and this is usually by the playmates, friends, or acquaintances, but not parents. In Afoland, as a tradition, the Osu, that is chief, does not die. He is believed to have gone above. And if one says Osu is dead, such a person is punished by the community for contravening their beliefs. When Osu has answered the call of Upo, Omadaki, that is his assistant, will present a goat to Mbakuse, that is kingmakers, for traditional rituals, and he, the Omadaki, is normally the successor, unless otherwise, on the fourth day of the Osu's ascension, a ceremony takes place. After some months, another ceremony takes place. The third ceremony is when the chieftain's stool is finally removed to Odagio, that is chief select, and a day is fixed for its installation by the kingmakers. On the installation day, the chief select is presented to Ogariu, that is a shrine, by the kingmakers and the priests who are responsible for the installation of Osu. As the people gather, the chief select will deliberately absent himself. When called upon and questioned by the installers, his answer is normally fake. He is punished by being given eba, that is a fine. He is subsequently stripped of his shirt, leaving the underwear. Umbauku will dance round him 7 times. At the 7th time, an uku is hit on the chief select's chest. He quickly runs home in order to escape the wrath of the angry losers of the stool. In most cases, the chief select disappears immediately the uku is grasped. This is in a form of obirgiji, that is whirlwind. He runs to a specially selected house and stays indoors for 7 days. A little girl is given to him for a help and later ends up being his wife. A shed is made with the oil palm leaves in front of the room housing him. This is called ribonu. On the 7th day, Umbauku dress him in a traditional attire such as kese, epuleshi, and ekiri, and hand it over to the royal singers at the gate of the house where he has been staying for the past 7 days. Normally, the chief is not supposed to come out through the gate he got into the house. He is escorted to the former Osu's house, where he is expected to shed tears in remembrance of the late Osu, from whence he goes to the playground for a formal ceremony. As the chief goes round, he picks money from a carved plate known as Ogata, being carried by his Omagajia, and sprays it in appreciation of his installation as the Osu in his lifetime. The chief addresses the gathering there, and afterwards dances continue for some hours. He is later then taken back to his house. Initiation of young men into adulthood in our society takes place after circumcision, and this circumcision is done unceremoniously in individual houses. A young man is first initiated into an Attire tradition at the age of about 8 to 10 years. He is exposed to the secrets of Attire tradition and taught how to practice the tradition in a shrine for some time before he is released to his house. He is cautioned never to discuss the secret to a non-Attire member, especially women. As he grows up, he is initiated into Aglibe, Iyo, and Agado masquerades at different stages. Masquerades call on the young men for initiations. If a young man is invited, a prescribed levy is paid to the masquerade. Each masquerade initiates its members at different times. The last and the most supreme initiation is that of Agado. This takes place after attaining the age of 25 years. Our people, like many other communities in the world, are strictly traditional. Before the advent of Christianity and Islam, our society believed in idol worshipping. They believed in several gods ranging from wooden, clay, or stone to gods of thunder, rain, etc. They also believed in the powers of graves, witchcraft, and spirits. The supreme god in our land is known as Adaweji, that is, owner of the land. When smaller gods cannot remedy a situation, Adaweji is called upon. His actions and words are final. The worship of God in our land is done in two ways. First, they have the Eshi, that is idol worshipping. In this regard, when someone has offended the god of Eshi, Oboshi, that is priest, is consulted, who after consulting his oracle and Upekule, states the type of sacrifices that must be made to appease the god of Eshi. This is usually the presentation of a chicken or goat, depending on the degree of the offense and circumstances. On the day of the appeasement, the Oboshi, chief priest, after performing the rituals, testifies if the Eshi has accepted the offer by holding the chicken near the Eshi on which is placed crushed grain. Acceptance of the sacrifices by the god of Eshi is indicated by the chicken eating up the akawa, that is, crushed grains. The chicken is then slaughtered and the blood is sprinkled on Eshi, so also are the feathers. If the chicken refuses to eat the grains, it is an indication that the Eshi has refused the offer. This normally happens when the person who offended the Eshi has a case to answer. For example, if an unfaithful woman is involved, the Eshi will not accept the sacrifice unless she reveals her activities.
Mbari Chimo, was always your turn. Even though, Odo, yes. What's your love to?
The other type of worship is that of the Ogariwu, that is grave. This can be performed by individuals, a family, or the whole community. An individual can worship the Ogariwu of his late father or mother. The whole community worship the Ogariwu of a powerful leader in order to request for protection against evils, for property, or good farm harvests. Ogariwu is also worshipped in order to settle a dispute between two rivals. Somebody suspected of evil deals is also taken to Ogariwu. But when the worship is by the whole community, they are gathered in front of the Ogariwu. Ade, special calabash containing water, or a local beer, Borukutu, is placed in front of Ogariwu. The Osu, that is chief, presents the case. The Adakoba, most elderly person, that is, offers prayers and the water or local beer to Ogariwu. The sacrifice follows with the slaughtering of a goat and pouring the blood onto Ogariwu. The meat is eaten by the whole community, while festivities follow with the drinking of local beer, singing and dancing. The Afo people have had a very nice cultural and traditional systems for many centuries, and in most places within the land, these systems still exist. The traditional burial ceremony of the Afo people is accorded only to men and women who have gone through the initiation rites, that is, those who have attained the age of 50 years and above, and who also must have died as a result of natural cause. The death of a child, a teenager, or a normal adult is an agony and merits no ceremony. The death of an elderly person, a dakuba, is announced by Iyo, and the ceremony starts immediately the Iyo finishes the cries for such a person. The ablego, that is, group of society, charged with the responsibility of burial, starts to dig the grave, which is usually done inside Udagba. At the same time, singers and dancers start the ceremony. The dead person is bathed, dressed, and wrapped in a woven cloth dyed black, known as Opayu Kambu, and then buried by Ablego. On the fourth day after death, a ceremony is held. Friends and relatives of the deceased wife and clan gather together around the Ogariwu. The Ogariwu is a mold clay on top of the person's grave. Prayers are said for the blessing of the soul of the deceased. It is during this setting that a day is fixed for the formal burial ceremony, which usually begins 7 days later. Ate, a local beer in Afoland, takes 7 days to brew, and throughout these days, it continues dancing and singing till daybreak. The spirit of the deceased, called Ubana, appears in the early morning in form of a dead masquerade. This is believed to be the spirit coming to bid farewell to his children, relatives, and members of the family and community as a whole. The whole community dance and sing with the spirit for about 2 hours, presenting gifts and finally saying bye-bye to the deceased. Many types of masquerade dances are performed. These include iyo, aloda, etc. The final event is the sitting on the ogaru, during which prayers and sacrifices are offered. Talking about traditional dances in our land, one cannot avoid mentioning such important dances like Ikolishapa, Ikoimbo, Aloda, etc. These dances are staged to celebrate one occasion or the other. Therefore, particularly the educated elite could not see why a chief of all their force should not have a place among the other chiefs in Nigeria. They were encouraged in this line of thought by developments among the neighboring tribes. So in 1978, these feelings among the educated elite crystallized in the formation of the Omadege Cultural Development Club, which embarked on a campaign for the unification of all Afro-land under a single paramount chief, Osu Ajiri, among other aims and objectives. Today, the Afro community has cause to be happy for having achieved one of such great tasks, that is, having achieved them with a government-recognized paramount chief in the person of Malam Musa Akaki Odumu, the Osu Ajiri, a fourth-class chief.
Osu na una kumi agbawu ibokona akwasu uboko mizai te ondo shukai oshu eduma a local government ngoi mau eyu imanga kwongwa gbanga o state kiniki mau eyu imanga kwongwa gbanga bolo ngombo mawa ona bokiniki ngode eduma boki mire kanzu ti mukai nzu boki bai mai ba kwanji nzi nongoma la kebe emergency kala ki tute kinu ki kwenzu mba sokunzori oshelesu aribo mai nzona ona akwasu nko mi zai te kingodimo eji shoshimo te asu obe magbamba obe megba obe motoka ogomneti obe mukianyi boko kinonga juma ndo ogomneti ozo Kizuma ki yotokawa jizu imbwanele akone boyo ile mo ngba mayu masokunzu
Land at present consists of the present Odege district, some parts of local district, and the whole village areas of Agwada in Kefi local government area. During the Jihad wars, some of our people crossed the Benue River to settle in Agatu district of Oturpo local government area of Benue State, in such areas like Ushan, Ketare, Ogufa, Alakio, where some of them are still living today. Edegembeki is the headquarters of the district as well as the chiefdom. On the map of Nigeria, prepared by Frank Case and Company Limited from the drawing number A3052, Survey Department, Nigeria, 1911. Afo land has boundary with Yeskwa in the north, Mada, Gwandara, Alago, and Koro to the east, Agatu, Idoma, and Igala to the south, while the west are Opanda, that is Egbura and Gade. With an approximate area of 8,960 square kilometers and a population of over 50,000, according to 1963 census, Afo land is made up of 7 major village areas, namely Odenin Magaji, Aku, Odu, Onda, Odenin Wukuba, Kana, and Agwada in Nasarawa and Kefi local government areas.
Yeah.
Adawaji.
Ata àti àjìǹda. Adawaji. Ata. Lẹ́yìn ìgbà tí wọ́n yọ olóògùn. Àti àjìǹda.
Adawaji. Adawaji. Adawaji mi palo. Aja oji. Ada. Mo be kiri la mu wolu. Jogona. Jojo. Yo àwọn kiri wa mu. Alada mi. Alada. Kele no gba ti alada. Boto mama. Ini umpanya ali. Pati gumani lo pati kuli. Apa? Sunna. Masuk. Ini sudah masih ada yang enggak. Apa ya? Apa cara lupa dah lepas. Nanti dah boleh. Jawab dah. Apa kita jawab? Jawab. Apa mana jawab? Ada. Jawab dah. Atau mama, ai no. Apa dah jawab? Eso. Kamu kan tu kan nak pergi bawa dah. Yo, ada. Yo. Pergi bawa dah. Apa lagi? Bukan mana mana. Ada. Mana ada? Ada mana? Apa kalau ada jawab malam? Apa tiba dah. Ayah berapa? Itu mana? Apa yang mak? Ada apa ni? Apa kerana? Bawa kerana. Bawa kali ni. Ada je dah film mau dulu lah. Ayah uji. Betul mau kali. Betul mau kali. Ya betul pun. Atu pun tu. Ada bagus. Ada je. Ada bagus. Ada je. Kata betul dah. Asal ni dah dah. Luji bal bawa bal mana? Aku jangan betul dah. Okul yang ada kamu coba. Aman dulu. Wata kupau. Kata. Ikati dia aja. Ikati bati dia aja. Aja uji. Mbak tahu boleh boleh. Mari cuma. Walau itu dia tadi. Ini tu tahu. Ini saja dulu. Odo je. Apa yang jadi? Oh sebenarnya tahu. Apa yang jadi? Apa yang jadi? Lu nak ya? Mari buat apa? Jadi nyari di. Mari buat apa? Apa kau jauh? Apa yang kamu? Jauh je. Mana kau ni? Mbak tahu ibu. Ibu lagi hari. Kita mesti ni. Dia kita mesti ni. Dia kolandan. Lama cari. Ikata apa wali? Kota apa wali? Madam betul tu ni. Apa yang ni? Ini aku tahu. Kali laba apa yang itu? Belakang apa ini? Belakang apa? Belakang ini. Belakang ini. Kan beda macam. Kalau mesti. Apa yang ni bapa? Apa yang ni bapa? Apa yang ni bapa? Okey bagus. Ay jauh ji. Otam ni ni. Otam badebo. Beni bapa ni. Abu betul siapa? Bongo betul je pare. Assembly baya tekere. Ajoji. Napa di bawah tu? Wa boy mana? Aku kamu mana untuk? Aku ni bama te. Untuk anu aku kalemo. Aku tak ame. Mama dia. Ay mo. Ada yang jadi main doa. Lupa dole. Mbau kali. Atu mangu kali wa. Ada ji. Atu apa yang main sudah. Pak berani je ji. Aja ji. Atu ni aku yote. Lupa lari hari mo nanti lah ban nyam nele. Lupa lari. Oda hari kamu boleh. àti ayúwì ìmọ́ba ọ̀tàlẹ̀ hẹ́rì bá mọ́bọ̀ ilẹ̀ fòfò pàánù ìmújọ́ ọdọ́ ìjìn Wọ́n lọ pé tọ́ọ̀pù mọ́. Mọ́mọ́. Àdúgbò àgbájú bá màá lú bẹ́. Ọmọ ní sáà máa lọ sí ẹ̀yí ìgbàpọ̀ ìjọ́lé.
Yes, it's what I wanted. Too short. Yes, sir.